Our Earth has reached 4.5 million years, and during that time, it had gone through a long ice age era, hit by asteroids, attacked by many natural disasters.
Pleasant morning, everyone.
And lately, our
Hopefully
Earth is
we
going
are
to
all
face a global climate
ready
change
for
because
our
of human
upcoming
activities.
events. In just
This
a
is
few
the
moments, we will
if you guys are
initialize
asking. Of
the
course
Palembang
it is
final.
dangerous. It is going to
I'm
give us
just checking
many global
a
disasters,
few of
and it
our
has already given us some of its
first
time. The international
contestants
team,
to deliver their speech this
international
morning.
team led by
Cherin
Oregon State University, including the global
Japri will be the first presenter. Cherin Austin Japri. No, we haven't had Cherin Austin Japri. What about Alvina Beatricia Loho? Oh, Cherin from Dian Harapan. Yes, okay. Cherin is ready. And dear judges, are we set for an exciting morning?
Yes, we are ready.
Yes, thank you for your confirmation, Ms. Diaratno. Ms. Diana Luspa is seemingly most ready. And Mr. Chris Prasetyo, are we set, sir, to initialize in just a few moments?
Good morning, ladies, gents, Paras,
Yes, thank you.
fellow judges.
Okay, great to have you.
I hope you're all well. Thank you very much, Paras.
You too.
What are we having today then? What are we having?
Okay, hopefully you're, the three of you will be enjoying an exciting, inspiring morning. With
Absolutely. I love these kind of things.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
A great morning, everyone. Honorable panel of judges and attending teachers, parents, and representatives from schools, the organizing committee from Erlangga Publisher Palembang, and our esteemed participants of the 2021 Erlangga English Speech Contest for high school and madrasah equivalents of Palembang Final. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, the Erlangga Publisher, in its continuous, tireless, and unrelenting support for the advancements of education in our country, has been organizing this speech contest annually for several years already, particularly in preparing our young generation to be active players in the ever-challenging future of the digitized age, instead of merely being spectators and onlookers. This speech contest is intended to accommodate awareness among the youth of the challenging, inevitably challenging nature of their future, uncertain future, from the way we see it presently. In this contest, the Erlangga publisher is attempting to incentivize students in striving to constantly improve their English language skills and public speaking capability and confidence. And one of the ways of providing those incentives is naturally by facilitating a generous sum of financial awards to the winners, as can be seen on the screen behind me, and also on the information that has been received by all. Each region or each province will have their own set of winners, first, second, and third winners. But the first winner, the champion from each region or province, will have the privilege and honor to represent Erlangga Palembang in the national contest, National English Speech Contest in Jakarta, which will be conducted later this year. And there, they will compete with champions from other provinces and regions throughout the country. Thus, the Erlangga English Speech Contest can safely be claimed as one of the longest running national level
Recording in progress.
speech contest organized in our country. And ladies and gentlemen, next in our agenda is the introduction for our panel of judges, whom the Erlangga publisher Palembang having chosen for their competencies and experiences. Undoubtedly, to ensure the highest attainable qualities of valuations toward the performances which will be delivered by our esteemed participants of Palembang Finals. Now, kindly allow me to introduce the first judge in our panel of three. The first is Ms. Diarno Dwi Astuti. Ms. Dwi Astuti possesses 17 years of experience in teaching English for all levels in language institutions, schools, and companies. She is likewise an AOO, Academic Operational Officer, and functioning as well as a supervisor in LIA Language Institution of Palembang. Apart from those, she is also a translator and a customized curriculum designer for specific purposes. And she's another task that she is handling is as a marketing officer of LIA Language Institution Palembang. Good morning, Ms. Diarno Dwi Astuti. A pleasure to have you with us.
Good morning, everybody.
Yes, and the second in our honorable panel of judges is Ms. Diana Luspa. Ms. Luspa is a graduate from Sriwijaya University, majoring of English study program. So Ms. Luspa secured her master's degree at the Sriwijaya University from English study program. She is also a docent at the University of Teachers Association or Union of the Republic of Indonesia, PGRI. And her interesting occupation is as a secretary in a certain joint project between the Indonesian Ministry of Fisheries and an establishment, an institution from Japan who is concerned in the preservation of fisheries in Southeast Asia. And in addition to those, Ms. Luspa is also a tour guide, nationally certified tour guide, tour leader, and a travel consultant. Hello, Ms. Luspa. Thank you for having you with us. It is an honor.
Yes, hello, good morning, everyone. Nice to see you today.
Ladies and gentlemen, now The last but definitely not the least competence of our panel of judges is Mr. Chris Prasetyo, who is joining us from Jakarta. Mr. Chris Prasetyo is an electrical engineer by trade, having his childhood education and higher education in the United Kingdom. Mr. Prasetyo had worked and lived in the UK for over 40 years already. And at the moment, he is with the upnextacademy.com. And Mr. Prasetyo's last employment was with the BWM Automotive UK as a senior field tutor in global positioning security system. And he took early retirement to return to Indonesia to help out, to care for his parents, and also to assist in developing English language skills for Indonesian youth. We are most honored to have you, Mr. Chris Prasetyo with us. Hello, Chris.
Thank you, Florence. Good morning, everyone. Good luck, participants.
Yes, thank you, Chris. And now, scheduled in our agenda is the announcements for the competition, for the contest rules and valuation criterions, which will be presented by Ms. Diah Retno Dwi Astuti. Ms. Dwi Astuti, the microphone is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Fares. Is my voice clear?
Yes, nicely, thank you.
Yeah, so good morning, fellow judges and all semifinal Erlangga English Competition 2021. Congratulations for all 20 best participants. You did it. And today you are going to have another another field. You are going to compete in another field. You are going to be chosen. We are going to choose 3 best participants among 20. And the one who get the highest score, you are going to represent Erlangga Palembang to have national competition in Jakarta. And then later, we still have the same procedure, rules and regulations. You are going to have maximum 5 minutes to deliver your presentation. And then you are going to be scored based on several criteria. The first one is content. It worth for 40 points. So what the content covers speech development. So what is speech development here? It covers introduction, great opening statement, and structure of your speech. The structure of your speech, that is the opening, body, and conclusion. And the second is effectiveness, means that whether your speech suits to the target audience and whether the content is understandable or not. And the third one is speech value. Here, we expect that you express your opinion, not only telling a story. So as we know that the purpose of delivering the speech is to influence other minds. So we need your opinion here. And then the second one, the first is content, it worth for 40 points, and we go to delivery, 40 points also. It covers body language, movement, and then your voice, the intonation, the stress, the flow of your speech, and also your self-confidence. And then here, manner. It covers enthusiasm, and then assurance, and whether you can convince the audience, convince the judges or not. And the last one, language. It worth for 20 points. The first item is appropriateness. Here is whether your speech is suitable for the audience. And then the choice of the words is suitable or not for the audience. And then the correctness, we are going to evaluate the grammar, pronunciation, and word selection. And after that, the result, we are going to announce the result on 5th of November 2021.
I could have known how my adult life would be. I'd wish my school gave me more time and space to explore things. I'd also wish my school taught me lessons I could apply practically in life. Here's the unbelievable evidence, yet we all have to admit. We all learn the complicated math formula, right? We learn economy. We learn how gravity affects a falling apple. but how many of us are talented to apply it in real life? How many times did the school challenge our creativity into solving our nation's economic problem? Or inventing something worth the trade? Based on Central Bureau of Statistics in Indonesia, the unemployment rate of population aged 20 to 24 years was 17.6%. And one of the main causes is that they are not used to apply creativity in their life, so that there will be valued outcomes that other people might feel
will be more alert to COVID-19 pandemic. However, the reality is that most people have poor literacy levels, so they cannot filter information that is spread properly. This has resulted in the circulation of many hoaxes that underestimate or exaggerate this pandemic. Like I said at the beginning, like there is a source that says that anyone who refuses vaccines will go to hell. Like it doesn't make sense at all. And various stigmas are currently circulating previously as well. So how can we avoid the negative stigma during the COVID-19 pandemic? The answer is we must be wiser in absorbing all information about the COVID-19. Don't easily believe news circulating. If you hear or get the latest news about the COVID-19 pandemic, don't immediately speculate that the news is fake news. And don't just believe it. The point is, don't use the knowledge you have now as an indicator to judge the validity of the news. We have to re-examine again where the source comes from. Is it really based on the data and facts or only based on the opinions of the author? Slowly, it will carve us into individuals who have high literacy interest and will keep us away from the negative stigma, excessive fear, and anxiety. Remember that the main center of health comes from the mind. If we are used to always thinking negatively, then negative aura will always be present. On the other hand, if we get used to always thinking positively, the positive auras will always flow. If positive thinking has become a part of our lives, with his permission, all negative things such as viruses, diseases, and so on will be reluctant to come to us, so that in the end, we can be free from the COVID-19 pandemic. Remember, President of the Republic of Indonesia, Pak Joko Widodo, said that currently, the main enemy of society is not the coronavirus itself, but excessive fear and anxiety. Keep that in mind. We don't know when this pandemic will end, but we should still be grateful that we are still given health, and the best solutions to overcome various problems during this pandemic is that we must try our best to take advantage of this pandemic period to keep achieving, improve ourselves, and communicate with our beloved families. Stay healthy, adhere to health protocols, because prevention is better than cure. Before I end, I have a quote that's quite interesting. Never judge something by he said or she said, but judge something based on real and reliable evidence. Finally, as a thank you, if there are words that are not pleasing, I apologize. I end. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Torik Putra Pratama from State High School number 5 of Bengkulu City. Mr. Pratama's speech is underlining how a negative stigma and prejudice is an aspect of the COVID-19 pandemic that which unfortunately has been made worse by the misuse of devices, digital devices, most particularly our smartphones. And he had conveyed to us the steps or methods we can take to protect ourselves from becoming unwitting, unaware agents of these misinformation, which would contribute to further anxiety, negative stigma, and prejudice. That's a motivating speech from you, Mr. Torik Putra Pratama. Thank you
so much for having me.
Yes, from State High School number 5, Bengkulu City. And now we will allow the microphone to be had by Miss Evel Kovina from Kusuma Bangsa High School.
Hello, can anybody hear me?
Oh, Evel Kovina. Oh, sorry, Mr. Evel Kovina from Kusuma Bangsa High School. Apologies. Yes, your cam position is not the most, not the nice. That's more acceptable.
Not for acceptable. Like what? Like there isn't any background.
Your head position is too close to the camera.
No, I mean like now. Is it okay?
Yes.
My voice.
Would you please the microphone? Test the microphone.
Oh.
Yes, I'm afraid you have to take off the mask. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. That's my.
Yes, yes.
my
This is nicer. This is loud and crisp. Thank you. You may have the microphone, Mr. Evel Covina from Kusuma Bangsa High School.
Can anybody hear me clearly?
Yes, nicely. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, then I shall start. Honorable judges, ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow students, 6 decades have passed since the first successful flyby by Mars. Since that time, many projects have been launched in order for us to fully explore the red planet and make more of it known to us. However, many have been concerned about sending more projects to Mars as it is very expensive. One of the most prominent examples being the rover Curiosity, costing over $2.5 billion. So, the big question is, should we continue spending more money to send more projects to Mars? Before I begin my speech, please let me introduce myself. My name is Avel Kavena. I'm a senior high school student at Kusuma Bangsa, and today I'd like to deliver you my speech entitled Mars, the extraterrestrial frontier of human curiosity and ambition. Please listen to my speech, and with this I shall begin. Ever since the beginning of time, humans have always dreamt in touching the stars, starting from Josefanya and Icarus, Otto Lilienthal, the Wright brothers, to heroes such as Yuri Gagarin, soaring above the atmosphere, to inspirations like Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, who landed on the moon. We, as humans, have always aspired to reach higher and to explore more. It has been our dream to soar in the heavens since primordial times, and now we've gone beyond that. We've always aimed higher, and it seems perfectly sensible to me to still aim higher and to still explore Mars with all costs. It has been how we persevere in this world, and human grit and determination have brought us this far. I believe that should be reason enough for us not to stop. However, many will still ask, are we really willing to spend billions just to fulfill an old ambition? Well, of course, it isn't as simple as that. As we all know, one of the main prerequisites for life is water. Well, what does that have to do with Mars, you might ask? Well, that's simply because we found water on Mars. Or to be more exact, we found that there was water in Mars, which means in the past, Mars could have also housed life. This is an extremely exciting discovery, especially among intellects, as this would mean that if we explore more of Mars, we could find answers to one of life's greatest questions. Most importantly, though, exploring Mars goes beyond answering a centuries-old question, nor is it limited to fulfilling an old ambition. It goes beyond all that. Exploring Mars is not a mere stepping stone in humanity to explore the far greater unknown, which is the universe. Among its many achievements today, humanity has achieved flight with airplanes, jet aircraft, spaceflight. Now it's time to expand, and Mars shall be a stepping stone in humanity to become a spacefaring civilization. With Mars, we can obtain a forward base in exploring the areas surrounding the solar system, and there's also the possibilities of hidden resource deposits within the crust, like, for example, iron, oil, coal, or a completely new resource that we haven't even discovered yet that could be far more potent, far more durable, far more efficient than what we have today. Basically speaking, Mars shall serve as a new frontier towards human ascendancy in universal exploration and into a galactic community should other species exist within the universe. Thus, with all that being said, should we continue spending more money to send more projects to Mars? I believe I speak for a majority here when I say yes. The human advance towards space is inevitable, and that includes the exploration of Mars. So why should we stop the inevitable? Why should we stop for a mere concern such as funds? There isn't any reason to stop whatsoever, and even if there is, human curiosity and ambition shall always
invite the representative from Al-Fahad Islamic High School, Palembang, Miss Keisha Diva Faradisa Juniardi. Miss Keisha, hello. May we test your microphone?
Is my voice clear enough?
We have a slight feedback. Please try again.
Hello? Is it my clear enough?
Dear judges, is this acceptable level?
Yeah, I can hear it fine.
Miss Diana?
Not really.
My voice is
There is feedback here. It's
yes,
not clear.
Is it possible to hold your microphone? To hold your microphone? Is it possible? We have echoing feedback here. Or perhaps step closer to the, could you kindly step closer to the microphone or hold it in your hand?
Or maybe, do you have more than one gadget active around you? Maybe you can turn off some of them and leave one.
Ya, kalau ada gadget lain di ruangan itu mohon dimatiin, Miss Keisha.
How about now? Is it clear?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that's acceptable. You may have the microphone, Miss Keisha Diva Faradisa Juniardi from Al-Fahad Islamic High School.
It's too noisy. The background's too noisy.
Maaf.
She's...
Can I start now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's noisy. It's noisy. Mungkin ada gadget lain yang aktif di situ atau maybe.
Nah, masih terjadi feedbacknya. Ya, mohon dimatiin dulu kalau ada gadget lain yang aktif di situ.
And make sure your room is quiet. You can leave the crowd or the crowd can leave you now.
Okay.
Is she in a station? Train station?
Maybe she is at school.
Oh, at school. Okay,
She is at her school, so many background noise.
Yes, there's many voices.
Yeah.
No problem. That is a variable you cannot control. No problem. We will have to make do. Okay, you may have the microphone, Miss Juniardi.
I start now.
Yes, you may start now.
The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you go. As Dr. Seuss mentioned. Excellency judges, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let us pray and thanks to our God, to our God, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who has given us some mercies and blessings so we can do our daily activities every day. Secondly, may peace and salutation always be given to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has given us some mercies and blessings so we can do our daily activities every day. Secondly, may peace and salutation always be given to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has guided us from the darkness to the brightness, from stupidity to cleverness, and from Jahiliyah to Islamic era. Thirdly, I do not forget to say thank you very much to the committee who has given me time to deliver my speech, which is what do you expect from school? Ladies and gentlemen, school. I have read in a dictionary that school is defined as a place where children go to be educated or where people go to learn a particular skill. Since school is defined like this, does it really work in our daily life, especially in Indonesia? Now, I'm going to define what is school to myself. School is a place where I can meet teachers and study together with my friends. Talking about school, I'm studying Al-Fahad Islamic boarding school. And by the way, this is the first time for me to go to boarding school, which means I cannot be with my family at home. But luckily here, I met a really nice teacher who makes me enjoy and comfortable learning English. Why I could say like this? Because learning English with word as I thought at first is totally wrong. She used to play some English music, which makes me happy and comfortable learning English. Then I love learning English. In the subject, there are 4 skills that I have to learn, which are reading, speaking, writing, and listening. Unfortunately, I do not really like writing and reading. As a student, I hope there's a school which really support my interest in learning English, and it is of a Islamic boarding school. Ladies and gentlemen, do you realize there's a stereotype of loving students' intelligence around us? Students who are mastering math, they will be called as smart students, while students who are lacking at math, they will be considered as stupid students. It looks like simple. It looks like just a word stereotype, but it is a serious problem because it's a culture. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to realize if each of student has different intelligence and abilities. Taking example, it is easy for me to learn English than math or even physics. How about you? What subject do you like most? Is it math, physics, or bahasa? Shoot, and we have different perspective and different answer, right? Ladies and gentlemen, Agent20.go.id success shocked me. They tried to compare between Finland and Indonesian education system. There are 16 points to compare. Let me show you some points that really makes me shocked. First, there is no gap between students. All students are not, they are in the same class. There are no regular classes, bilingual classes, or even international classes. Second, science classes in Finland is only consists of maximum 16 students. With this number 16 of students, they can focus in practice and group research. And the last one, which really makes me shocked, is 43% of students in Finland choose vocational school. Now, let's see in Indonesia. What happened with Indonesian education system? Do you realize if we are over varieties of classes, they are regular, bilingual, extroverted, or even international class, we also have to establish smart students there. In contrast with Finland, vocational school in Indonesia is marginalized. Students cannot develop their own skills in special school. Ladies and gentlemen, I do agree. If we are as students, we have to support government decision in order to make Indonesian education system better. But would you like to listen what is actually my expectation of school itself? Simple. I dream to have a school which really support my interest, a school where I can meet qualified teachers that want to improve themselves, a school with a good facilities, and a school which I feel like home. In short, I do believe if government can be aware what is actually we are facing nowadays, all student expectation of school can be resolved. Thank you for having me. I'm Kisha Dipa Paradisa Juniadi, SMA Unggul Sambal Pahat, Jakabaring, South Sumatra.
You are most welcome, Ms. Keisha Diva Paradisa Juniardi from Al Fahad Islamic High School, Palembang. Ms. Juniardi's presentation, among others that I comprehend, underlines the culture of stereotyping in which students who excel in certain subjects are considered to excel in all subjects, while students who are not performing good enough in certain subjects are considered they are not capable in performing well in other subjects. So yes, that's one of the stereotypes in the culture of education that we need to address, and also how vocational school is in the prevalent perspective of many people is marginalized education, which is supposed to be encountered, because we note how vocational school prepares students to be more prepared, to be better equipped for their future employments. Among others, that was what I understood from the presentation by Ms. Keisha Diva Faradisa Juniardi from Al Fahad Islamic High School, Palembang. And we now invite another representative from Dian Harapan High School in Bangka, Ms. Erin Rizka Atmarini.
Am I audible?
Hello, Ms. Atmarini. Could you please try the microphone just one more time?
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, very nicely. Thank you, thank you. You may have the microphone.
Have you ever thought about living on another planet? Imagine, to ride in an advanced spacecraft that could take you millions of miles beyond the Earth. As you travel through space, looking up into the sky, knowing that one of the tiny specks of stars is the planet that you were born in. A realization of a childhood dream come true. And as weeks of long journey pass by, at last, the red hue planet has come to sight. But throughout this incredible moment, we can't help to think about what's more is out there, what's waiting for me, or who. And although our burning curiosity is in one adequate answer, there are substantial other reasons on why we should explore Mars. I'm Erin, and on this fine morning, I will take you on a trip on Mars and its most attractive sights. Well, not really around Mars for now, but hopefully in the foreseeable future. The first attractive point of Mars will land to search for life. Finding out if there's past or present life elsewhere in the universe beyond the Earth is a fundamental question of mankind. Think of it. If we could find the evidence of Mars's indigenous life, it could mean a game-changing impact in our planetary science. It can give us information on a new way of thinking or working that we've never even thought about before. And to know how different life on another planet might be. In addition to it, Mars is the most accessible place to search for extraterrestrial life because it is the most similar planet to Earth in the solar system. Many evidences from scientists to Mars's space rovers had proof that Mars was once had abundance of liquid water, warmer, and had a thicker atmosphere. That could mean it is potentially a habitable environment. Besides searching for signs of life, exploring the surface of Mars can also teach us many things. Now, we know that Mars was once basically like Earth, but where did all the water go? Why is it now a cold, dead planet? It's the only other planet in our solar system that had liquid water on its surface. So there must have been something that made it all went wrong, right? Exploring Mars's grounds can possibly provide us the answer to the origin and evolution of life, particularly by studying the Martian rocks, which, for all we know, have been formed billions of years ago. Scientists believe a rock record preserves such as environmental condition on the planet that can give us more clues on what really happened to Mars. By understanding the geophysical surface, we can learn more about our home, its history, and overall, the history of our solar system and its evolution. Lastly, we're reaching out to preserve humanity. Humanity must become a multiplanetary species, Elon Musk. One common thing we know about mankind is that we evolve. We need to evolve. We don't want spending our entire lives not going anywhere, do we? Staying in the same place, just waiting for any kind of calamity to come at us and make the entire human race go extinct. We certainly have no idea on how long human lives could last. Risks such as overpopulation, environmental destruction, climate change, not to mention cosmic impacts including asteroids, comets, meteors that can befall on Earth at any rates of time, which is probably the scariest one to imagine since it is estimated 25 million meteoroids, micrometeoroids, and other space debris had entered the Earth's atmosphere each day only, which results in an estimated 15,000 tons of that material entering the atmosphere each year. This could be an example for you to think, what if those space rocks are the same size of the asteroids that had hit the Earth once in the Ice Age millions of years ago, where it also caused the extinction of the dinosaurs and other ancient creatures back then? That's why exploring Mars could prepare us in case, if, God forbid, these catastrophic events were to happen. And I know we can just spend all of those bags of dollars to make Earth a better place, but still, imagine how revolutionary the humankind would be. The more advanced technologies like robots, rovers, spacecraft, interplanetary travels, you name it. This would be a new era for mankind. Therefore, for the sake of safeguarding humanity's future here on Earth, we have to put humanities elsewhere, and thus making Mars as a destination for the survival of humankind someday. So, if you do end up going to Mars, In the future, we'll know whatever we'll get or see will teach us lessons, a new perspective, and we will go one step further to save humanity. As a great scientist once said, if you have the power to do something great and important and wonderful, then you should. Thank you for listening.
Yes, you are welcome, Ms. Erin Rizka Atmarini from Dian Harapan High School in Bangka. Ms. Atmarini's speech provide an emphasis on why it is important to conduct exploration to Mars, namely in search for life and also to prepare for the possibility of establishing Mars as a secondary planet for human habitation. More or less, it's like a backup planet, Ms. Atmarini. That's a fascinating emphasis from your speech. Thank you again, Ms. Erin Rizka Atmarini from Dian Harapan High School in Bangka. And now the next participant to deliver her speech is Ms. Florence Josefanya from Maitreyawiras High School, Palembang.
Asked?
Yes, we have your visual. Please try the mic just one more time.
Test. 1, 2, 3.
Very nicely. Thank you. You may have the microphone, Ms. Fania.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, when you hear my speech right now, a machine is trundling across the surface of Mars. Perseverance rover, the car-sized rover that safely touched down on the surface of Mars on February 18, 2021. Might only have a top speed of less than 0.1 miles per hour, but it carries a variety of tools, instruments, and experiments that have made some remarkable achievements. In addition, a helicopter the size of a tissue box has made the first ever powered controlled flight on another planet. It is named Ingenuity. It hitched a ride to Mars on the Perseverance rover. Human has sent around 30 spacecraft and landers to the red planet since the space age began. But the question is, why? Why are humans interested in exploring Mars? What are the advantages of exploring the red planet? Good morning, my name is Florence from Maitreyawiras Senior High School, Palembang. Through this speech, I will talk about why should humans explore Mars. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun, just after the Earth. Since the 1960s, many people have been very interested in outer space, including Mars. The evidence is that humans set up many space organizations such as NASA, European Space Agency, and many more. And this is where the questions arise. Why should we spend billions of money on space exploration when we have many problems on Earth? The answer is definitely not just for fun, right? So these are the reasons why humans should explore Mars. The first reason is we can't stay on Earth anymore. There's the only goal that has driven many humans and beyond: survival. For example, when we were in the Ice Age, we made fires and fur coats and did what we could to survive. The same as when we got the ability to grow our worlds. We made new technologies to create new possibilities. Because of that, Earth becomes a wonderful planet, right? But that's actually the part of the problem. Despite being wonderful, the problems we have are numerous, and they're growing every single year that we are living on this planet. And that's one of the main reasons why we need to explore and get into Mars. It'll solve certain problems. One of the biggest ones is it'll help potentially solve overpopulation. As the more people are on this planet, the more resources that are going to be used up. Therefore, by taking potentially large chunks of the Earth's population and sending them to Mars, we solve that problem. The second reason is to develop new technologies and scientific knowledge. Within 60 years of discovery, research, and study, most people have found a lot of interesting facts about Mars and known that Mars is a valuable planet to live on. At the same time, it increases the urge that humans should go there and explore even more. Hence, it takes a lot of effort to coordinate a mission via a rover.
and then wait to get samples back on Earth to study them, and then find out if it was worth it or not. Then, thinking about it, if we live on Mars and have a scientific lab or research base on there to study the samples, it'll go a lot quicker, won't it? Actually, this particular goal is going to advance our technology and scientific knowledge. There are plenty of projects going on right now to make Mars a truly great place to live that could have huge impacts here on Earth if we get it done and done it right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, life on other planets may be out of reach in the near future. But if any planet can give us any hope, Mars may hold the key to humanity's survival. Now the question is, do we really have to prepare to go to Mars, or looking for ideas to speed up the process so that it can happen quickly, like Mars terraforming? To be sure, the more we learn about Mars, the better prepared we will be to try to live there. Soon, someday in the future. Thank you for your attention. I'm Florence. See you on Mars.
Yes, hopefully to see you on Mars too. Miss Florence Josefanya from Maitreyawiras High School. Miss Fania's speech emphasizes that eventually all the resources on our planets will be used up. It is only a matter of time, and I believe I agree. And thus, sooner or later, we will have to start looking for a new planet to inhabit. And the exploration to Mars also covers an aspect of technological advancements that Ms. Fania mentioned as terraforming, attempting to plant on Mars. Yes, I'm observing latest news on that, very interesting developments happening. Yes, thank you very much for your inspiring speech, Ms. Florence Josefanya.
Thank you, and good luck for everyone.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Florence Josefanya from Maitreyawiras High School, Palembang. And now we would like to invite Ms. Gloria Christie from Dian Harapan School, Bangka.
Hello. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, nicely. You may now have the microphone, Christie.
Thank you. What if the pandemic is never happening? What if we never have to wear a mask? What if our world is revolving as usual? Isn't it so hard to be stuck in this pandemic thingy? Disasters amplify the inevitable aspect of the world we live in. This quote by Mami Mizutori is relatable to the world we live in right now. It seems like the pandemic amplifies many bad aspects of our lives, makes our lives much more dramatic than it needs to be. I, Gloria Christie, standing here to deliver my speech about how do pandemics change our lives in economical aspect and environmental aspect. Now, before we start, have you ever thought that pandemic always negatively changes our lives? Did you notice that we also gain positive impacts from the pandemic? I wish I could see expressions here, because I know many people didn't agree to this. But why do you think it causes a bad impact when we are having such a positive alteration in our life? Healthcare products could help with financial problems, because what we take care of the most these days is in reality our health. It has become a necessity for every single people to take care of their health. As you can see, health products such as mask, hand sanitizer, vitamin, etc. are mostly sold these days. I am sure you have bought these products before too. Me, as a daughter of a pharmacist, know well that many people visited my pharmacy these days because of the health products we need during the pandemic. According to UNCTAD, pharmaceutical or health purchases are increasing by 9% just by online shopping. Not just that, healthy food, supplements, nutrient-packed drinks like milk and yogurt are also the most searched products because of the benefits we get from those food products. One of the famous milk brands over the world started selling its product online to adapt to shopping trends during the pandemic. Because, well, it's hard to make money these days. Central Statistic Agency reported online sales had grown significantly from February to July 2020. In March, online sales soared by 320% and later jumped by 480% in April compared to the beginning of the year. I have another example, which is on environmental aspect, such as global warming. Of course, we all knew about this because we are the cause of it. Our grandchildren maybe couldn't even inhale the fresh air like we did. But thanks to this pandemic, we have bigger chance to change the world into a better place. Global warming is not great for us, and even for the next generations. They have to at least breathe the fresh air too. The newest research or study revealed this year's global warming is decreasing by 7%. The exact study also said this COVID-19 pandemic is decreasing the most carbon dioxide since World War II. According to Global Carbon Project, carbon dioxide this year is decreasing by 2.4 billion tons. During the second quarter of 2020, which is April 2020 until June 2020, the growth of information and communication usage skyrocketed. This is due to people's heavy reliance on digital economy to support their lives during the pandemic. So have I changed the way you're thinking? There's this quote for us. Your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. So this COVID-19 pandemic might be a disaster or might be a chance for a better world. It just depends on how you see your world. I used to hate the situation, but I saw plenty of positive things. I saw it all. So I, Gloria Christie, humbly asking you right now, will you see it with me too? Thank you for your undivided attention.
Yes. You are most welcome, Miss Gloria Christie from Dian Harapan High School in Bangka. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Christie's speech mentions how the pandemic had boosted awareness on health matters among the populace. And this is especially her own personal experience for being a daughter of a pharmacist. I suppose people are coming to your pharmacy to get themselves mostly vitamin C and vitamin D, Miss Christie. We have, I read news about people stockpiling on vitamin D thanks to Dr. Fauci, if you heard the news about that name. And also Miss Christie underlined the interesting effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on the environment. That's a fascinating observation from Gloria Christie from Dian Harapan High School in Bangka. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And our next presenter is Ms. Kalisha Hazira from RSI Indonesia. I'm sorry, what is RSI acronym of?
Rising Star Indonesia.
Okay, RSI High School. Ms. Kalisha Hazira, could you please test your microphone just one more time?
Test. Am I clear enough?
Not loud enough, I'm afraid.
Hello?
This is better. Okay, judges, is Ms. Hazira, can Ms. Hazira start?
Sounds a bit echoing.
Okay, Ms. Kalisha Hazira, you may have the microphone.
One time my mom came into my room and noticed the cold air. She walked over to my nightstand and grabbed the AC remote. Do you pay the electric bills? You're using the AC in 18 degrees Celsius. Well, I stood there wondering if she knew how hot the weather was that day. I casually said, Mom, it's really hot today. She walked away and mumbled, kids these days. I remember how we never used AC back in the old days, and it wasn't even that hot. I pondered, does this have anything to do with the global warming, higher sea level, fire threats, limited resources of fossil fuels, in news, informational social posts, articles, books and movies? We've all been warned, and yet still, no dramatic improvements have been made. And have you wondered why? Hello, respected judges, honorable audience. My name is Kalisha Hazira from Rising Star Indonesia School, Palembang. Before moving on, I'd like to thank everyone here for giving me this opportunity to compete in this competition. To be honest, I am not really a speech person, but today, not only will I be competing, but I'll gladly share my knowledge about renewable energy. Let's start by knowing how our planet is today. One way humans interact is by saying, "How are you?" And most of the time, they will reply with, "I'm good, I'm great, I'm fine. What about you?" But if you ask our planet, our Mother Nature, a simple "How are you?" question, can you imagine what it will say? What it will reply with? Well, I think before asking, we can notice how poor they're doing. The man-made disasters, deforestations, the temperature rise, increased flooding. They will look pale, bald, exhausted, and unwell. Giving you the image of our planet today, I'm sure you are wondering, why are these happening? Well, many factors can contribute to the destructions of Earth. But one big reason is the usage of non-renewable energy. And that's what I'm going to focus on today. What is non-renewable energy? These are the energy that will run out one day since it can't replenish as quickly as how humans are using them. One example is fossil fuels. Yes, we name them all. Oil, natural gas, coal, nuclear energy, gold, iron. These resources were made thousands or even millions years ago, formed by heated and compressed organic carbon materials like dead plants and animals. You might be wondering, why on earth would I be telling you about fossil fuels? Well, that is because burning these fossil fuels emits carbon dioxide into the air. And carbon dioxide is a potent greenhouse gas. Greenhouse gas traps heat from the sun in the atmosphere, causing our planet's temperature to rise. This temperature rise means global warming. Today, Earth is said to not be stable anymore. Can you imagine what it will be like in a few centuries? Or maybe just in a few years? How do we save our home? How do we save our planet? The answer is just by erasing the non and non-renewable energy. Exactly, it is the complete opposite. Renewable energy is beneficial for both the environment and people. Energy such as solar, wind, geothermal, biomass, they are inexhaustible and are available nearly everywhere. And one important point is that it costs little environmental and climate damage. Pros and cons have been discussed regarding renewable energy. Is it worth it? Is it actually a better alternative than using non-renewable energy? Well, from what I've researched, yes, it is 100% a better choice. Even though it's true that renewable energy has its own trade-off, it's not as bad as the harmful impact of using fossil fuels. For cost, renewable energy is affordable and comes in low cost. For the community, renewable energy creates jobs. For both our health and for our climate, renewable energy emits low or no air pollutant and greenhouse gas. Now that we have known the basic knowledge about renewable energy, it is clear which one is the better option, which one is the better choice. Years from now, scientists have predicted the devastating impact of climate change. If we don't act today, then who will? Would you let our planet die slowly in our hands? Thank you everyone for listening.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Kalisha Hazira from RSI High School, Indonesia. And from what I can gather in Ms. Hazira's speech is that the use of non-renewable energy sources had contributed and is still contributing, and in fact, it will continue contributing substantially to unwanted environmental impact. And if we keep the current situation going, our future generations will be the ones who suffer the consequences. They will be the ones paying for the prices of the decisions we make today, not to switch to renewable energy. This is the first presentation on the topic of how do renewable energy save the world. Yes, some noteworthy observations made by Ms. Kalisha Hazira from RSI High School, Indonesia. Thank you. And now we invite the second representative from RSI High School, Indonesia, Ms. Eva Viola Anthony. Do we have visual of Eva Viola Anthony? Do we have visual already of Miss Eva Viola Anthony from RSI High School? Yes. Oh, okay. We have your visual, Miss Eva Viola Anthony. Please test. Okay. If you're done setting the visual, could you please test out your microphone? Okay. 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 Take your time.
Test. Is it clear?
Could you speak slightly louder? Sedikit lebih keras. Please try the microphone just one more time. Sedikit lebih keras suaranya. Yes, judges, is this acceptable?
Is it clear?
I could hear it, but no, it's not loud enough, but I could hear it.
Okay, okay. Okay. No.
I don't think the microphone is working at all.
Iya, iya. Sedikit lebih keras aja. Mbak Viola, Iva Viola. Nah, benar-benar pas itu volumenya bisa kalau bisa sedikit lebih keras lagi. Nah, benar mikrofon dideketin. Okay, okay. That's nice. That's acceptable. Okay, Miss Eva Viola Anthony from RSI Indonesia High School.
What is the first thing that pops into your mind if I say the word school? Would it be an education? Or maybe friends? Or maybe even a classroom? Good morning to our respected judges, teachers, fellow students, and friends. Thank you for giving me the chance to speak today. My name is Eva Anthony, and I am a 10th grade student from our side. Today, I will be discussing my expectations for school. The first expectation that I would have would be the most obvious, which is that you would get an education from school. The exact definition of a school is an institute where you educate children. Children of all ages come to school so that they can be given knowledge and information. So, what kind of knowledge are you taught at school? Well, we have maths, we have the language arts, we have science, history, social studies, really just about anything you can think of. But what about the skills that you need for the real life? For example, how to do your taxes, how do you get a job? These things aren't really taught in school. But what is taught in school are skills that you can get so that you can actually do these things in real life. For example, you're taught maths so that you can do taxes. You're given all this information so that you can get a job. Another thing that school teaches us is character. We're taught different types of character that can build our personality so that we can become a better person. The second expectation that you would get from school is that you would make friends. A social life is extremely important to a child's growth. It's how they interact with others. So when you go to school, you would want to meet friends. That's what basically motivates us children to go to school. But what happens to those that don't have friends? Some people are a little shy, or maybe they're a little introverted, or they just don't have anything in common with other people. These people end up being outcasted by the hierarchy of the school, where the popular people are the ones at the top, and the least popular people are at the bottom. What happens happens to these people? For one, they start not wanting to go to school. They don't have that motivation and they don't have a reason for it. Because children don't really think about learning for one. That's not their goal. That's not the thing that they're most important. Friends are most important to them. But when they don't have one, they start losing the motivation to want to go to school, which is how they end up skipping school, getting into trouble, and then that leads them to depression. This is a large issue in schools all around the world, and even if you don't see it, it is always happening, and is something that we need to fix. The third expectation, although not something you should be proud of, is that students get stressed. If you asked any student, one of the things that they would say is that you get stressed a lot at school. From the homeworks to the tests to the projects, these things build up. And if you don't finish them on that day, you're gonna end up piling up and you're gonna get overwhelmed. For example, in my case, I am a procrastinator. I don't do work until the end or when the due date is close. And well, if you have a lot of work, that's gonna end up piling up. You're gonna get overwhelmed and you're gonna sleep late. It destroys our sleep schedule, it destroys our motivation to learn, and it clouds our image of what school is. Rather a place to learn, but more a place where you get really demotivated. And so, after all the expectations that I have given you, both positive and negative, what are your thoughts on this? Has it changed since the beginning, or do you still keep them? Thank you for listening to my speech. I hope that you have gotten something new from this.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Eva Viola Anthony from our SI High School, Indonesia. Ms. Anthony's presentation mentions on the subject of what to expect from school is that, well, our current education system reflected in the school's curriculum has not sufficiently addressed the need for the students to possess real life skills and character building, which is part of soft skill. So soft skill is a set of skills that is not academic in nature, but important for securing jobs in the future, for example. And included in this soft skills is character building. And also she reminds us that we still have homework, namely to attempt in distributing education equally, especially towards and among children from underprivileged families, and how too much homework can be counterproductive in terms of educating the students, because it can lead to stress. That's some of the notes I took from the speech by Miss Eva Viola Anthony from our SI High School, Indonesia. Thank you, Miss Anthony. And we now invite a representative from Madrasah Aliyah, State Madrasah Aliyah number 1, Lubuk Linggau. Hello, Lubuk Linggau. Welcome. We invite Mr. Mahesa Putra Pradana. Yes, we can hear you nicely. Yes, if you believe you are ready, you may start. This is Mr. Mahesa Putra Pradana from State Madrasah Aliyah number 1, Lubuk Linggau City.
Give us no water and much dirty air, and earth will give us no places to live in anymore. So what will all of you people do? Keep surviving here with all of those bad conditions, or move to a new home which we know now as Mars? Hello everybody, my name is Mahesa Putra Pradana and I am from Islamic Senior High School number 1, Lubuk Linggau. Now let's talk about this interesting topic with me. Why should humans explore Mars? Well, viewers, our Earth has reached 4.5 million years, and during that time, It had gone through a long ice age era, hit by asteroids, attacked by many natural disasters, and many more. And lately, our Earth is going to face a global climate change because of humans' activities. Is this a dangerous situation if you guys are asking? Well, of course it is dangerous. It is going to give us lots of global disasters. And it has already given us some of its sign. The international team, led by Oregon State University, including the Global System Institute, at the University of Exeter, reported that in July 2021, there are some vital signs that is happening to our Earth. Now I'll mention you guys two of them. First, 2020 was the second hottest year in history, with 5 hottest years on record, all occurring since 2015. The second one is global carbon dioxide concentration level has reached 416 parts per million, the highest monthly global average concentration ever recorded. Well, that was not a good sign, viewers. Our Earth needs our help, and those are going to increase and increase for the next year. No wonder if global drought, extreme heat, and the worst is air pollution and overpopulation is going to attack us soon. Well, viewers, in fact, scientists had already predicted those bad conditions would have happened to our Earth since a long time ago. And don't you know that they are already preparing for the worst even by searching for a new home. Stephen Hawking, one of the famous physicists in this world, has stated something very controversial in a BBC documentary back in 2017. He said that human will need to colonize another planet within 100 years or face extinction. On the other hand, Elon Musk, the owner and CEO of SpaceX Industries, insisted that the planet that can be occupied by human is Mars. Yes, everybody, I'm talking about Mars, the red planet. And since 2020, there had been 48 missions to Mars so far, carried out by countries like United States, Russia, Japan, China, and many more. Even Mars One Foundation, an organization that focuses on human exploration in Mars, plans to send some volunteers all over the world just to settle on Mars by 2023. Well, viewers, now it comes to these big questions. Should we go to Mars? If you guys ask me, I dare to say no. Why? Because I don't want to have a Martian grandson. I'm just kidding. It's because by living this Earth with all of its destruction, it just reflects that we, human, as an irresponsible creatures. Don't you people want it to be called that way? I don't want to. That's why I am here to invite all of you guys to save our planet before it's getting worse by doing Mars. M-A-R-S. M is minimize. Let's minimize the use of fossil fuel vehicle, which contribute more carbon dioxide to our air. A is apply. Let's apply a renewable and eco-friendly energies to our environment. What's the third letter? Yes, it is R. Reforestation. Planting trees are urgent things that we should do right now. We can start off by planting trees in our home, in our backyard, or even inside your room. And what's the last letter? Yes, you guessed it right. It is S. Socialize. Let's socialize the others to save our planet, because together we can. Being alone is not enough to make a big changes to this world. So, viewers, exploring Mars as a new habitable planet is humans' biggest dream this century. But to save Earth from its destruction is what we should do right now. I hope by doing Mars, M-A-R-S, Stephen Hawking's prediction about Earth destruction wouldn't came true. So, let's save our planet for the better future. That's all from me, guys. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Are not wanted, yet inevitable for many. And that it's interesting reference made to the statement, to a statement made by the late Professor Hawking about the time frame for humanity to colonize another planet, in which Mars is the closest from ours. Naturally, thus the efforts, the technological advancements are directed to for that goal, for that purpose of colonizing Mars, among others, and also some aspect of why it is, although it is a noble purpose, a noble goal to achieve, but politically it might not be possible to have every country in the world caring more about the environments because of their economical situation, for example. Thus, colonizing Mars might just give us another example, and a nice elaboration of Mars as an abbreviation, as an acronym. That's an interesting explanation of the letters MARS. Thank you, Mr. Mahesa Putra Pradana from State Madrasah Aliyah number 1, Lubuk Linggau City.
Yes, you're welcome.
And
Thank you.
it is now the turn, apologies, honorable panel of judges. Do we require a 5 minutes break after this participant, after the next participant?
If you wouldn't mind.
Okay. Miss Dia and Miss Diana, do you think we can have a 5 minutes break after the following participants? Hello?
Miss Dia?
Yeah.
For me, no need to have a break. I need a break after all the participants present, I think.
Okay, so we are continuing until the last
until
participant.
20, until senior high school.
Okay, yes, we will use up our remaining time to allow the entire participants for high school level. Okay, now back to our contestant, another representative from Maitreyawiras High School, Palembang. We invite Miss Maureen Natalia Chang.
Hello?
Yes, hello, welcome, Miss Chang. Yes, we can hear you nicely.
Tess, hello?
Yes, very nicely. Loud and crisp. The microphone is yours, Miss Maureen Natalia Chang from Maitreyawiras High School, Palembang.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, school. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the word school? Is it friendship? Is it knowledge? Well, I guess we all have our own words to describe school, don't we? Now, what if I ask you, what do you expect from school? Many of us go to school because we've been told to since we were kids by our parents. But have you ever thought what we really expect from school? Good morning, everyone. I'm Maureen from Maitreyawiras Senior High School, Palembang. In this opportunity, I'd like to deliver my speech entitled, What Do You Expect from School? I remember the time when I felt really overwhelmed for the first time as a student. It was 5 years ago when I was in junior high school. Plenty of assignments and exams were coming in while I was trying to have fun in that new stage of my education. It was not easy for me, and I ended up having bad scores in most of the exams. I was disappointed with myself, obviously, and ever since then, I'd been wondering, was this what we had to do to succeed in life? What if I always got bad scores? Could I be successful? Thomas J. Stanley, an American writer and business theorist, once did some research on 733 millionaires about success factors. And the fact is that our exam scores are the 30th factor of success. Even our intelligence quotient, or IQ, is the 21st factor. So what do we really expect from school? Well, I believe that school should give more emphasis on 2 skills. The first is emotional intelligence. Indonesian psychologist Rose Mini revealed that IQ affects only 20% of an individual's success, whereas the 80% is determined by emotional quotient or EQ. Well, there are multiple ways to be emotionally intelligent, but the most important way is by improving the skills of self-awareness and self-management. Self-awareness means knowing what emotion we're feeling and why we're feeling it. Self-management means controlling our emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. These two skills must go hand in hand in order to have a good basic knowledge. For instance, good decision making. Yes, decision making. It's simple yet essential because every step of our lives depends on every little choice that we make. Going to college, getting a job, it is all for us to decide depending on ourselves. Napoleon Hill once said in his book, Think and Grow Rich, to succeed, we must learn to make decisions and have persistence in carrying out our decisions. The second is social intelligence. Have you ever heard about social intelligence? Well, social intelligence is closely linked to emotional intelligence, but actually, it is not the same thing. Social intelligence relates to our relationship with others. Humans are social creatures. We need each other and cannot live by ourselves. Now, the question is, how can we be socially intelligent? With empathy and collaboration. Empathy means the ability to understand what others are experiencing. Collaboration means teamwork to be successful together. With empathy, we'll know how to interact with people, to convey our ideas, then discuss them with others. Therefore, there will be a good communication and no room for misunderstanding, which will lead to a good collaboration. When there's a good collaboration, there's a successfully done idea. However, unfortunately, a survey in 2017 done by the University of Michigan showed that Indonesia was the 21st country out of 63 countries with empathy. This shows that we, as the young generation, need to be more socially intelligent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, life is not always about scores. It is about how to strive in this world to give our best on our potential and to contribute to society in order to succeed together. I hope that in the future, we, millennials, can be provided with the skills needed in this modern era. I'm Maureen. Thank you for your attention.
Yes, you are welcome. Ms. Maureen Natalia Cheng from Maitreyawiras High School, Palembang. Ms. Cheng's presentation delivers on how our schools need to facilitate more emphasis on the education of emotional intelligence, which relates to our self-management and our decision-making skills, and also social intelligence, in which our empathic skills is forged or trained or practiced. That this is an interesting note made by Ms. Cheng on how the index of empathic skills among Indonesian students is a worrisome situation. So this is what we needed to address. Thank you for your observation, Ms. Maureen Natalia Cheng from Maitreyawiras High School, Palembang.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. And now the next presenter is from the first presenter from State Madrasah Aliyah number 2 Palembang. Let us welcome Edo Nur Aziz.
Test, hello.
Yes, we need your visual. Yes, we have your visual. Mr. Edo Nur Aziz from State Madrasah Aliyah number 2 Palembang. You may have the microphone.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 years ago, there was a young boy who just going to be a student of senior high school with no English basic stuff. No speaking skill, no listening skill, no understanding skill, low score, or even not able to make a conversation in English with his friend. Until some people told him to stop trying, because he won't be able to speak like a native at school. He won't be able to improve at school. He won't be able to expect something from the school. But you know, everybody, that young boy is now professionally delivering a speech with his work and proving all those statements before are really wrong, because he can do something more than they expect. But ladies and gentlemen, the story that I just shared is not about someone else's life. It's not about a superhero story. It's not about fantasy, but it's about a handsome young man speaking in front of you all. And of course, it's about me. And the reason why I told you this story, because I want to give you an example of what you expect from the school. Well, the honorable judges and all ladies and gentlemen, honestly, when the first time I got questioned about what do you expect from the school, I directly answered nothing. Because I feel like, why do we have to expect something from the school while we are not even giving what the school expects from us? Despite the question, I would like to ask you all remember about the past. How many times do you break the rules in the school? How many times do we ignore the advice from the teacher to not coming late, to not sleeping, to not cheating, to not fighting, to not doing something while in the class, but you still do it? So what do you expect from the school then if you do so? Because it feels like you expect everything while you just give nothing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, talking about the school, last night, I was looking for some information that related to this problem. And do you know what I got? Many people say that Indonesian schools are really, really bad because many of schools have not been facilitated, lack of teacher, and no good administration. Until some students feel like a school is not a school. So ladies and gentlemen, the main point that we have to focus on is now, what is our role as a student to become smart generation in order to make our school better? And in my mind, there are two things that we can do. First, improving our potential. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you and I are not living in Harry Potter's life, in which we have a magic wand to change something impossible to be possible. We are not living in a fairy tale land in which we have a good fairy to help us do everything. We are living in a real life with no magic wand and a fairy to help us. So if we want to make ourselves better, no other ways, we should struggle to improve our potential by our own self. We can stack in one way because the one thing that can change us is only us. So start from now, improve ourselves to be the best of the best with our potential. A great drawer, a great speaker, a great leader, a great singer maybe starts from you. So everywhere diamonds are placed, it will be still a diamond. Even in the mud, a diamond, still a diamond. So no matter how bad the school is, if the student is good, the student will be still a diamond. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the second point is spreading our wings. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are like a butterfly that before it turns to be a beautiful creature, it used to be something that everyone claims as a disgusting creature. So choose your way to make the expectation real. Take an action for our school. Take an action for ourselves. Don't be so hopeless and say school is nothing, because every school in this country has the same chance to be better. Gain your achievement, chase your dream, and let people expect everything good from you. So ladies and gentlemen, finally, I just want to make you all realize that it's not about what you can get from the school, but it's more about what you can do for the school and for yourself. Because the one thing that we have to learn is about how do we get the value for our life future. I'm Aidan Razis from State Islamic Center High School number 2 Palembang. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Edo Nur Aziz from State Madrasah Aliyah number 2 Palembang. Mr. Nur Aziz's presentation shares us a fascinating personal story of his in which mockeries and underestimating remarks had ironically motivated, incentivized, whipped even, mencambuk Mr. Nur Aziz to be a better English speaker. That's a fascinating personal story. And also, Mr. Nur Aziz emphasized on a thought-provoking question. Why don't we ask what we can give to our schools? That's an interesting and thought-provoking question. And ultimately, it is we, the students, who make the most important decisions with the education we receive from our school, and not basically about the school itself. So basically, our personal responsibilities.
Yes.
And in which the school is only a tool, more or less. Thank you again, Mr. Edo Nur Aziz from State Madrasah Aliyah number 2 Palembang.
Thank you.
And now we would like to hand over the microphone to another representative from Kusuma Bangsa High School, Mr. M. Rashid Andira.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we have your visual. Please try out your microphone just one more time.
Test, test.
Yes, very nicely. Okay, you may have the microphone.
My voice clear?
Yes, clearly and crisp. Okay.
Okay. I can start now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. How's life? All of us are happy and healthy. It's me, M. Rashid Andira, here to represent Kusuma Bangsa Senior High School, Palembang. And my topic for today is, what do I expect from school? But before I get right into it, I would love to give a big thanks to the honorable teachers, judges, and committee for the opportunity that has been given to me to convey my own thoughts and deliver my own ideas. School teaches you many of the fundamental things you need a basic grip on in order to be a genius successor in your life, including math, English, science, discipline, and socializing, to name a few. But not everything that's worth knowing is taught up on blackboards, at least not yet. One teacher can make an everlasting impact on a child's life. Think back to your days in school. I'll bet you had a good teacher. Hopefully several you still remember to this day. A child spends more time in class than at home on a typical school day, if you don't count sleeping at home, not in class. The time child spent in school, the most developmental use, is valuable. There are many things that should be, but often not, taught in school. Some would argue that these things should be taught at home, and I agree, but they often are not taught there either. Getting these concepts in the school is the only way we can ensure that all students are getting this information, especially kids who come from broken homes or homes where the parents are too busy to teach their kids and therefore rely on the school system for everything. Let's start off with foster creativity. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited, imagination encircles the world. And that's not my opinion. Albert Einstein said that. I get it. Most schools have art class, kids also have the choice to join band. And there are a few good writing teachers out there who truly understand the importance of creativity. But unfortunately, that's not the standard. And what about creativity in math and science? The school system tends to talk about creativity like it's a special extra thing, like it's done occasionally, which has led to a separation between the creative classes like art and band and the academic classes like math and science. We would do well to get rid of that distinction. Einstein never held that distinction. Most of our greatest thinkers did so through the lens of creativity, not academia. Up next, question everything. A child's ability to question everything and see through the eyes of skeptic isn't fostering as a school system because it goes against much of the entire school system. Many schools would rather the children just listen to what they're told without providing their own ideas, and especially without questioning too many things. Oftentimes, the more important something is, the more the school doesn't want it questioned. I had a few great teachers in school who tried to instill this mindset in children, but it was often agreed by all of the teachers who wanted everyone to conform the status quo. It's a sad day when children don't have the freedom to question, even when there isn't an answer. Kids need a healthy sense of skepticism, not cynicism. Most of the greatest concepts, companies, and inventions have come from people doing exactly that. We should teach kids to be respectful, listen to their teachers, but question everything. Parents always tell their children that they need to be respectful to their teacher. But at the same time, teachers can make mistakes too. I think schools would win a lot more hearts if they taught the students to be skeptics, as opposed to teaching students to do whatever they're told. Additionally, the sense of confirming authority through and through can be dangerous. Think about it. How many sexual assaults that could be prevented if a children know it was okay to say no to an adult who has gone too far? Last but not least, problem solving. The school system typically teaches a right and wrong answer for everything. Like when taking a test, answer C is correct, which means answer A, B, and D are all wrong. Or that you're wrong if you didn't use the book answer. That works for a question with a basic right or wrong answer, but it's also used for a question that could have multiple solutions. What if we focus more on solving problems and less on being right? If a student finds a solution to a problem, If they came up with a different solution or came to it by a different way, they could still be right. I understand that 2 + 2 will never equal 11. But when it comes to which answer is most correct, there's some room to argue, and most correct shouldn't purely be up to the teacher discretion. We could teach kids creative problem solving in more areas than we do. And the conversation of how they come to certain conclusions may be even more important than the conclusion themselves. My takeaway is, yes, school is a great place to learn and study, but we just couldn't deny the fact that school isn't perfect. There are so many missing pieces that are not taught in school. Finally, many of these concepts aren't full semester ideas. Many are simple addition to things we already teach, but many would be full semester ideas. And those are the ones we should really be striving to include in schools, because those demand the most time. And lastly and mostly, I'm very interested to know what you think should be included. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all for my speech for today. Thank you so much for your time and attention. And as always, until next time, have a great day and have a great life. Thank you.
Yes, you are welcome, Mr. Muhammad Rashid Andira from Kusuma Bangsa High School. Mr. Andira's speech conveys that in regard to the imperfections of schools, the over-reliance of parents toward the school has made their children lost some opportunities to learn other skills that are valuable in life, among others. And also, he made a remarkable reference to the late Professor Einstein in regard to how imagination has helped Professor Einstein in some of his discoveries. And in addressing these issues, one of the ways suggested by Mr. Andira is to disseminate and educate our young generation to maintain respect to their teachers while retaining their sense of critical thinking towards the teachers, because teachers are humans too, they make mistakes, and the schools themselves are not perfect. Thus, critical thinking capability is imperative while maintaining respect towards the teachers, more or less. Thank you very much, Mr. Rashid Andira from Kusuma Bangsa High School. And now we invite the only representative from State High School number 1, Lebong. Is this in Bengkulu? Resadila Angelina Panjaitan from State High School number 1, Lebong.
Hello, is my voice clearly enough?
Yes, clear enough. Is your high school is in Bengkulu, Miss?
Exactly.
Yes. Oh, so, okay. So welcome, Rejang Lebong.
Well, we're actually Lebong. So Rejang Lebong and Lebong is a different state.
Different district, I suppose. Okay. So the Lebong district, not Rejang Lebong. Also noted. Thank you. Okay, Miss Resadila Angelina Panjaitan from State High School number 1, Lebong. You may have the microphone.
Okay. Hello, everyone. How are you today? I hope that we're all safe and healthy during this pandemic. So I have a question for you. Does digital culture bring benefits to us? Some of us would say, of course, it has such a lot of information that we need, but some of us would say, no, I totally disagree with that because it has such a lot of negative impacts. So which statement is more correct then? Hi, my name is Resadila Angelina Ber Panjaitan, and I'm from State's Senior High School number 1 in Lebong. And I'm here to deliver my speech. The topic that I've chosen is, does digital culture bring benefits to us? Firstly, I'd like to say that I'm really glad I can use my voice to deliver my opinion through this speech competition. Okay, let's talk about this. However, firstly, we have to know what is the meaning of digital culture. A digital culture is a concept that describes how technology and the internet are shaping the way we interact as a human. We all know that we live with the technology that is developing day by day. And guys, do you guys realize that most of our activities are involving the technology? For example, now we continue this speech competition through an application in our digital devices such as phone and computer. Okay, but let's talk about our past. Getting information in the past was more difficult. Before the internet, people gathered information by visiting the libraries and searching through the books or the journals. But look at us now. Getting information is really, really easy, right? Well, in only 1 second, we can already get a bunch of the information that we need only through our digital devices such as smartphone, computer, and more. Another example is social media. We can socialize with people within far miles away, far miles away. Isn't it crazy? It sounds really, really easy, isn't it, right? Okay. However, despite all of those positive impacts, the technology can make a person affected by something that shouldn't happen. The freedom to access information has indeed given us as humans so many positive impacts, but it actually depends on ourselves. There is a quote from Albert Hubbard that says, "Responsibility is the price of freedom." So I'm here to invite all of us to use our freedom rights to accessing the internet as well as possible for our better world. So please, all of us can make a big impact. And I'm Resadila, and that is my speech. Thank you so much.
Yes, you are welcome with Miss Resadila Angelina Panjaitan from State High School Number 1 Lebong, Bengkulu. Miss Panjaitan's speech delivers the benefits that we have gained from our digital culture, namely, and most importantly, how easy it is to, how convenient and easy it is to obtain information, something that is not available to our previous generations, to our grandparents. But despite its advantages, there are also potential pitfalls of the digital culture. And she made a very interesting quotation, which I will look it up later on the internet, that the quotation that responsibility is the price of freedom. I will definitely use this for my presentations later. Thank you, Ms. Resadila Angelina Panjaitan from State High School Number 1 Lebong, Bengkulu. And now we invite the last representative from Maitreyawiras High School, Palembang, Ms. Vivian Angelica.
Hello.
Hello, Ms. Angelica.
Yeah.
Yes, we have your visual and your voice is nice and crisp. So you may have the microphone. Yes, very nice. Okay, you can start.
Begins with a story of mine when I was 10th grader. It was one of the happiest moments of my life. Why do I say so, ladies and gentlemen? Because that was the last time I went to school. Yes, then we started online classes. I remember vividly that I had to do the group work for the biology presentation at the weekend before. But the best part was the presentation was canceled. Yay, I said. I was so happy at that time. But the worst part, well, not worse enough since I got more time to watch K-dramas, is staying at home for such a long time. Schools were closed until later date and lessons are being held online. No school activities, no gatherings, and of course, no eating that delicious nasi padang at the canteen. That all happens because of one cause, COVID-19 pandemic. It has changed the lives of almost every person in the world. Some by just a little and most by a lot. Good morning, everyone. I'm Vivian Angelica from Maitreyawiras Senior High School, Palembang. Today, I want to deliver my speech entitled, How Does Pandemic Change Our Lives? COVID-19 was declared as a pandemic when World Health Organization carried out a virtual press conference on 11 March 2020. Since then, it has become an extreme fear, right? Shortly after the World Health Organization declared it was a pandemic, the world started to change. Lockdowns and quarantines were implemented, travels were shut down, and we can't go anywhere and won't go either because we are so scared of the pandemic itself. Moreover, for many people, this virus impact has been devastating. Lives have been lost, physical and mental health has suffered, wages cut, jobs terminated, and so on. Everything started changing, and the fear even grew larger. As you all know, COVID-19 is a family of viruses that attack the respiration system, and it is also an infectious disease. So it spreads easily through physical contact between human beings. As a result, we have to do public health action. For example, social distancing. It means staying at home and away from others as much as possible to prevent the spread of the disease. The practice of social distancing encourages the use of digital tools and social networks instead of in-person contact. People overall are spending more time at home than before and spending less money eating in restaurants and staying in hotels. And of course, they're shifting to buying things online instead of going to the stores. See, everything has become a lot more complicated by the changes due to the pandemic. And what are the others? Now let me tell you more. Let's start with a simple one, mask as a fashion item. Look at how everywhere and every time people wear a piece of cloth on their face, or what we call a mask. Wearing a mask is now a mandatory when stepping out, even though it may have felt a little bit odd at first, but everyone's got used to it now. Today, we have various designs and styles of masks, from medical masks for daily wear to fancy masks for weddings or events. We've seen it all. It looks like our accessories have now been replaced by masks. The next one is mental health disorders. During COVID-19 pandemic, many people experience stress, anxiety, fear, depression, and loneliness. Social distancing is needed, but it makes us feel isolated and lonely as we get stuck at home. And of course, they can affect our mental health. According to World Health Organization newest survey, COVID-19 has disrupted mental health services for many countries to 93%. It is said over 60% reported disruptions to mental health services for vulnerable people, and people with pre-existing mental health are more vulnerable to COVID-19 infection. They may stand a higher risk of severe outcomes and even death. So never underestimate your mental health. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the pandemic has made unpredictable changes to our lives. Sometimes it takes a global pandemic to get us to appreciate our lives. We all had our experiences through the pandemic, yet the world is changing with or without it. Giving up is not the best option because this is not the end of the world. I believe that together we have the power to fight this pandemic. I'm Vivian. Thank you.
Yes, you are welcome, Miss Vivian Angelica from Maitreyawiras High School. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Angelica's presentation highlights how the pandemic had changed our living and how the use of digital devices has helped somewhat to the efforts to combat the spread of COVID-19 virus. And she made a noteworthy, interesting remark, how mask is a new face accessory. And then she concluded by summarizing that the COVID-19 pandemic had taught us to appreciate the small things in life that we usually took for granted, among others, our health, more or less what I understood. Thank you again, Miss Vivian Angelica from Maitreyawiras High School, Palembang.
Thank you and good luck for everyone.
Yes, and now Miss Nimas Siti Nurhaliza will have the microphone as our last participant representing State Madrasah Alia number 2, Palembang.
Test. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Is
very
my
nicely,
phone-
Miss
Yes,
Nimas Siti
okay.
Nurhaliza.
Thank
Yes,
you.
you may have the microphone.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, this pandemic take over our teenage life. Do you agree with me? Well, ladies and gentlemen, teenage is the heyday in every human life, the golden time for someone to reach their dream. But when this pandemic comes, it's wiped away. So now, if you look up to the question, how does pandemic change our life? Shortly, the answer is from living out our dream to simply surviving. Ladies and gentlemen, we witness every particular aspect in our life have changed so far. Just take a look around how people lose their goals, how people lose their hopes, how people lose their choice. And we never know that this could happen before. So the honorable judges, ladies and gentlemen, now let us talk about something that always been the main character for over 10 years. Yes, COVID-19 pandemic. On March 2020 is where the first time for us facing this pandemic, and also the beginning for us and seeing significant change in our life. At that time, we started to see that the time that should be used to explore the world becomes the time for us to stay at home from the dusk till dawn. No more touching, no more hugging, no more gathering. There's only one thing, surviving. So it's not only makes our body isolated, everybody, but also our mindset. The situation makes us think and wonder, can we survive? Ladies and gentlemen, we used to think that hope is hope. And you know that many people lose their hope during this pandemic. But many people still have those hope in the bottom of their heart. Why? Because they have nothing with them except the hope. Hope is not passive. Hope is not blah, blah, blah. Hope is a power, and hope is second action. After all, ladies and gentlemen, instead of blaming over there and over here, why don't we just start hoping by acting? We can overcome this situation by making use of two potential powers. The first power is the power of mindset. Ladies and gentlemen, if a pandemic becomes the limit for us, just like a big barrier that stands right in front of our face, so the only thing that you need to do is absolutely pass it. So change our mindset that everything is all right. Change our mindset that we can reach our dream no matter how cruel life is. Change our mindset that we can survive because it's not the first time for this world facing a pandemic. Change our mindset that we can pass this one just like this world did before. And change our mindset that we have to move beyond our limit. Ladies and gentlemen, we might think that we cannot improve our skill during this pandemic because of the limitation. But Whitesworth said, know your limit, but try to exceed them every day. Our life in this pandemic is maybe limited, but our action is limitless. Ladies and gentlemen, the second power that can support us is something that is more important than the motivation. Something that everyone should have. It is discipline. So ladies and gentlemen, we must be disciplined in time, knowing every time must be used efficiently. Ladies and gentlemen, we used to think that we are busy around this and that, and we can do nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, we must be disciplined in time, knowing the time. And we have to sleep and get up on time. We have to eat on time. We have to work during work, some rest during rest time. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine if you're not disciplined. Our life will fall apart even though we are not in a pandemic. So what if now we have no discipline? How messy our life will be. So ladies and gentlemen, just remember one thing. If you started to lose your motivation, discipline is the only thing that makes you keep going. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to ask you one more time. Do you still agree that this pandemic take over our teenage life? No, ladies and gentlemen, it will never take over anything from us, not even a small piece, because if we can see positively, this pandemic has come not to destroy, but to build our bright future. It comes to us not as a thief, but as a gift. So at the end of my speech, I just want to say that as a generation that born in a digital, in a pandemic era, we have to stand stronger. Never stop yourself. Never stop hoping. Never stop struggling. I'm Nimasiti Nurhaliza. I'm a pandemic fighter. I will never let this pandemic take over my future. Thank you.
Yes, you are welcome, Ms. Nimasiti Nurhaliza from State Madrasah Alia Number 2 Palembang. Ms. Nurhaliza's speech conveys that surviving the pandemic has
Yes.
been a constant theme for the life of many people. That is an unfortunate situation, but hope is not hollow.
Yes.
Hope is what give us the mindset
I know.
and what is motivating us to have a discipline in managing time, in addition to the mindset to be optimistic, because humanity had already faced disasters like these before. This is not the first, and still humanity survives and even thrives afterwards. Thank you very much. A nice note-taking by Ms. Nimas Siti Nurhaliza from State Madrasah Aliyah number 2 Palembang.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Yes, now concluding the presentations delivered by high school participants for for the 2021 Palembang Final Erlangga English Speech Contest. We thank you everyone, all the participants, attending teachers, parents, and school representatives for your enthusiastic participation in this year's speech contest. We have, yes, on behalf of the panel of judges, I convey our highest appreciation and even gratitude for your eager presentation, eager speech delivering. We have been impressed with all of your performances. We hope that all of you can be chosen as the winners, especially the champion of Palembang, but naturally there has to be a winner, there has to be a set of winners from all others. So we hope you the best, we wish you the best of luck, and you may look forward for the announcements of winners on the 5th of November. Thank you again, and hope to see you again soon or in next year's speech contest. Have a great day.
Are we having a break session? Oh, is it recess now?
You are muted.
Huh?
Mas Fares, you are muted.
Yes. How many minutes should we have for our break?
10 minutes. Is it
10
right,
minutes?
Mr. Chris? Miss Diana?
Yes, that would be convenient.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, 10
That's
minutes.
much appreciated. Yeah,
Okay.
let's have a cup of tea, shall we?
Yeah. Mr. Fares, will we have the same participant or different participant? Should we leave the Zoom first or just stay in this Zoom?
Yes, kita bisa
I don't
mulai Zoom
mind.
untuk peserta SMK ya.
Yeah.
Yang inilah,
Yang SMK in this Zoom or different Zoom?
Di dalam grup yang sama ya, Pak Agam. Okay. So welcome to participants of the Erlangga English Speech Contest 2021 from vocational high school level.
Okay.
We will start in 10 minutes. So the first presenter, the first speech deliverer will present their presentation or speech within 10 minutes from now. Peserta pertama tingkat SMK akan menyampaikan pidatonya 10 menit dari sekarang, dan 5 menit dari sekarang kita akan pembukaan untuk SMK. Sampai berjumpa 5 menit lagi. Tapi pidato pertamanya dari SMK 10 menit lagi ya. Hello, great morning, everyone. Honorable panel of judges and attending teachers, parents and representatives from schools, the organizing committee from Erlangga Publisher Palembang, the esteemed participants. Welcome to the Palembang finals of the 2021 Erlangga English Speech Contest for Vocational High School and Madrasah equivalents. My name is Fares Chandra. I am your MC, and in just a few moments, you will be introduced to our honorable panel of judges. Ladies and gentlemen, the Erlangga Publisher, in its continuous, tireless, and unrelenting support for the advancements of education in our country, has been organizing this speech contest annually, particularly in preparing our young generation to be active players in the ever-challenging future of the digitized age, instead of merely being spectators and onlookers. This speech contest is intended by the Erlangga Publisher to accommodate awareness among the youth, our youth, of the challenging, inevitably challenging nature of their future, which is uncertain at this point due to the many variables we are facing, the advancements of digital technologies, the pandemic, not to mention among others. And in this contest, to incentivize students in striving to constantly improve their English language skills and public speaking capability and confidence, the Erlangga Publisher has provided a generous sum of financial award for the winners in each region or province, whereas the first winner or the champion from each category in each province or region will have the privilege and honor to represent Erlangga Palembang in the national level speech contest, competing with champions from all other regions and provinces throughout Indonesia. Thus, the Erlangga English Speech Contest can safely be claimed as one of the longest running national level annual speech contest in our country, in Indonesia. Now, ladies and gentlemen, next in our agenda is the introduction of our honorable panel of judges, whom the Erlangga Publisher Palembang having chosen for their competencies and experiences to ensure the highest attainable qualities of their valuations toward the performances delivered by our esteemed participants from vocational high schools in South Sumatra and even beyond, since this year we have the honor and privilege to have the participation of vocational schools from outside of Palembang and even outside of South Sumatra. Now, kindly allow me to introduce the first member in our panel of judges, Mr. Chris Prasetyo. Mr. Prasetyo is an electrical engineer by trade, having his childhood education and higher education in the United Kingdom. Mr. Prasetyo was grown up. He worked and lived in the UK for over 40 years already. Currently, Mr. Chris Prasetyo is with the upnextacademy.com, and his last employment was with the BEWM Automotive UK as a senior field tutor for global positioning security system. Mr. Prasetyo took early retirement to care for his aging parents and also to assist in the development of English language skills of our young generation. We are honored to have Mr. Chris Prasetyo with us. And the next in our honorable panel of judges is Ms. Diah Retno Dwi Astuti. Ms. Dwi Astuti possesses 17 years of experience in teaching English for all levels in numerous language institutions, schools, and companies. She is likewise an AOO, or Academic Operational Officer, within the same capacity as a supervisor in LIA Language Institution Palembang. Ms. Dwi Astuti likewise performs the function as a translator and as a customized curriculum designer for specific purposes. So she's highly experienced in designing curriculum of English. And a part of all these, Ms. Dwi Astuti is also managing the tasks as a marketing officer of LIA Language Institution Palembang. Great day to you, Ms. Dwi Astuti. And the last but not the least competent in our panel of judges is Ms. Diana Luspa. Ms. Luspa is a graduate from University of Sriwijaya English Study Program. She secured her master's degree in Unsri's English Study Program, and at the moment she is lecturing. She's currently lecturing at the University of PGRI, Association or Union of Teachers of the Republic of Indonesia in Palembang. The interesting task, the interesting occupation of Ms. Luspa is a secretary to a joint cooperation between the Indonesian Ministry of Fisheries and a Japan-based institution that is concerned on the preservation of freshwater ecosystem. And apart from all these, Ms. Diana Luspa is also a nationally certified tour guide, tour leader, and travel consultant. Great day to you, Ms. Diana Luspa. A pleasure to have you with us.
It's nice to see you all, and good luck, everybody.
Yes, thank you. And now we are inviting a representative from the panel of judges to deliver a few notes on the rules and the evaluation criterions for the participants' speech. For this, we kindly invite Ms. Diaretno Dwi Astuti to deliver the remarks. You may have the microphone, Ms. Dwi Astuti.
Thank you, Mr. Fares. So good afternoon, everybody. So now it's for vocational high school. Different from other participants, for vocational high school, we have 10 semi-final participants. So congratulations for 10 semi-final participants of Erlangga English Speech Competition 2021, everybody. And today, in this competition, the judges are going to choose 3 best participants, and 1 participant who gets the highest score is going to represent Erlangga Palembang to compete in national competition. And you are going to be evaluated based on 3 big criteria. The first one is the content. So the content here, it works for 40 points, and it covers your speech development, how you develop your speech, the structure of your speech, the organization, and the supporting material. Whether you have the opening, body, conclusion, do you support with data, do you give the examples, and then effectiveness of your content, whether it suits the target audience, whether your content is understandable or not, and then speech value. We expect that you express your opinion, not only telling story from the book that you have read, because as we know that the purpose of delivering speech means that you influence others to believe what you believe. And then the next one, you are going to be evaluated. We are going to evaluate your physical appearance, your delivery. It worked for 40 points. We are going to see your body language. And then body language and appearance, and then your voice, your flexibility and volume, and also your manner, whether you show enthusiasm, and then whether you are able to influence others or not. And then your language, 20 points. We are going to see the appropriateness, the speech purpose, whether your speech is suitable for the audience, and your choice of words is suitable for the audience or not. And the correctness here, it covers grammar, pronunciation, and word selection. And then you are going to have maximum 5 minutes to deliver your speech. And the announcement of the winners is going to be announced on 5th of November 2021. And after you finish delivering your speech, you may leave the Zoom. I think that's all, Mr. Fares.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Nodia Dwi Astuti, for the announcements on contest rules and evaluation criterions. And just a few summaries from the technical pointers provided earlier, that the announcements for Palembang winners will be made on November 5th. And during this event, the recording of this entire event is conducted by Erlangga Publisher Palembang, and thus participants, teachers, parents, and school representatives do not need to record on their own. After this, the Erlangga Publisher Palembang will provide a link to the entire recording of this event, thus facilitating reviews for the students and the participants and their teachers. And the last technical pointer is that to ensure the maximum bandwidth stability during this event, we allow participants who had delivered their speech to leave the room. No worries, because again, a recording of the entire contest will be provided later. So for your reviewing purposes, thus it is okay to leave the room after delivering your speech, but you may stay. It is entirely optional up to you. And now we invite our very first participant for Vocational High School Erlangga English Speech Contest 2021 Palembang Final. We would like to hand over the microphone to Ms. Stephanie Jolie Waisaka from Methodist 2 Vocational High School Palembang.
Hello?
Yes, Ms. Waisaka, we can hear you nicely. Okay, you seem ready, so okay, you can have the microphone.
Thank you. Good afternoon, the honorable judges and all the participants. Hi, my name is Stephanie. I'm from Methodist 2 Vocational High School Palembang. And today, I'm going to deliver my speech entitled, Does Digital Culture Bring Benefits to Us? Digital culture means that every technology advance becomes people activities every day or even every minute. Whatever activities in life is instructed and installed into digital form. It indicates how change has entered unconsciously to our life. We just follow and enjoy them. We don't care the effect from that. Ladies and gentlemen, do you think that digital culture brings benefits to us? Of course, everyone has different thoughts, but personally, I think that digital culture brings benefits to us. Why I say like that? I have a lot of proof for you to recognize the benefits for us. First, adding insight. With digital culture, it will make it easier for us to add insight because we don't have to bother looking for answers in books or afraid to disturb if we ask friends. We can instantly get the information from wherever, whenever, or whatever, freely and quickly. Compare if it's on offline. It must be very complicated because we have to go from one place to another place to get different info. Second, being entertained. In this day and age, you can get everything from the internet, starting from watching variety shows, reading comics, reading fan fictions. You can even reread Indonesian history from the internet, and of course, many more. You can get them all in one time, not postpone. And if you are tired, you can leave it without the fear of the librarian, ticket officer, or other officer disturbance. You just need more quota of internet. And the third is helping the education. Like in the current situation, we need the internet to study as usual at school because of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. The internet is really helpful in pandemic situation. It makes the process of learning continue, although the pandemic is still threatens. How can we imagine if there's no solution for education? Oh, thanks God, the internet is the savior of education in pandemic situation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, from the advantages of digital culture effect to our life, we can use that to make our life better. Although there's no undeniable condition that digital culture also has its disadvantages. But it doesn't mean that we have to be afraid to adapt with digital culture. If you use digital culture wisely, then the losses will be less. Digital culture has already come to our life. It's getting usual or more usual to our life. So it depends on us whether we enjoy it as part of our life now or we see it as an alien coming. So I think that's all about my speech today. Thank you for your attention.
Yes, you are welcome, Ms. Stephanie Jolie Waisaka from Methodist 2 Vocational High School, Palembang. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Waisaka's presentation delivers why digital culture is beneficial in terms of education, whereas digital culture facilitates insight, not only information, but in-depth knowledge of a topic that we are searching for. So insights, not merely information, and also entertainment, access to entertainment that can be enjoyed without the hassle of distance, like when going to cinema or going to the library. And in conclusion of her speech, she recommends that we should not be intimidated by digital culture, by the bad side of digital culture, but we should be wise in utilizing digital culture to the best of our benefits, more or less. Thank you very much, Ms. Stephanie Jolie Waisaka from Methodist 2 Vocational High School, Palembang. We now invite the next presenter, the first presenter from Lampung. Hello, Lampung, welcome. We invite Daniela Alia Lustansha Kamada.